Yo, what up? It's Benjamin D'Souza here, back with another classic. And I want to make this video because I got inspiration to make this video because I checked out a recent stream that Concrete Rose and Sister George made in response to a podcast that O'Shea Duke Jackson made featuring Ramil Amir. Now, my prior video to this I made in response to some of Ramil Amir's points that he made in that podcast. And I wanted to kind of make a distinction between myself and him and to kind of clarify some things. And, so a few things that were said during the podcast that Sister George and Concrete Rose made, it kind of piqued my inspiration. So, all right, with that said, I know a lot of the situation does seem bleak between the interpersonal relationships between black men and black women. In this particular video, I would like to illustrate some strategies that I have implemented in my life on how to get a bitch back in pocket. This is not how to vet a female and to see if she's, hitting on shit or, if she's solid. This is after the fact, after first blood has been drawn. You're you're at war. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make the best of a bad situation. These are the strategies that I implemented in my situation. Now, to get a bitch back into pocket, keys to war. Number 1, embargo, an official ban on trade or other commercial activity with a particular country. All right. Now, as you know, in my throughout my catalog, I speak about some of the skullduggerous methods that my baby mother used to use the court system and child support and whatnot to financially cripple me and twist my arm to coerce me into her compliance. Well, like countries and whatnot who don't comply with the United States, what did the United States do? As opposed to just going to all-out war and putting boots on the ground in that country, they put an embargo on them, a blockade, They get, the United States gets with their allies and whatnot and says, yeah, we're not fucking with Iran. So we're not going to trade with Iran. England, you don't trade with Iran. Australia, that goes double for you, etc., etc. Well, the same thing applies here. Now, I'm not telling brothers to shirk their obligation to the state. If a bitch put you on child support and she put you through that meat grinder of family court, nigga, pay that shit. Pay that shit. You know what I'm saying? But as the rapper Lil Durk out of Chicago once said in one of his songs, he said, "If the bitch put me on child support, don't ask me for shit." And that's the stance that I took. It's like, hey, you want to put me on child support? Fine. You'll get the child support. That's all you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? So, some things have changed since then. I'll get into that later. You know what I mean? But she put me on child support. I was paying what? $480 a month, $500. We rounded up to $500. But she was basically, she would, after the fact that she kept my daughter away from me for over a year or whatnot, and I really went through my red pill rage phase at that point, and I really went through the fire and came out as this cold, pragmatic type of motherfucker, because I was this close to just saying, to writing them both off. I was this close, man. I was like a centimeter away from saying, fuck that bitch and fuck that kid. You know what I mean? When the kid turned 18, she can call me up, look me up, and get my side of the story. But, I how you say, got counseling. I took wise counsel and chose to go a different route. But at the same time, I had to be cold and strategic with this bitch, because this bitch wasn't playing no games with me. So in turn, I wasn't playing any games with her. You wanna take me to family court, lie in the court, and then try to be in cahoots with a daycare to cook the books to get more money up out of me? Okay, all right. Since you playing hardball, set them up, bitch. Let's play. Let's play. You want to play hardball? We can play hardball. Like the architect said in The Matrix, there are methods of survival that we're willing to go to. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. I'm willing to eat cold cuts and fucking live on this goddamn big rig for the next 6 months if I have to. I'm willing to eat one meal a day. You feel me? Eat 2 cold cut sandwiches a day, and then supplement that with a whole bunch of water to save money. There are levels of survival that I'm willing to go to achieve victory. But I had to implement an embargo on this bitch. You know what I'm saying? And what really did it for me, as she called me on FaceTime one day so I can FaceTime my shorty and shit, right? So she was on the FaceTime screen first before my shorty hopped on, and she had this long fucking silky yaki weave in her motherfucking head and shit. And she all flipping it and whatnot. She's at the beginning stages of offering a mea culpa and trying to get back into my good graces and shit. But she flipping the hair, thinking I'm really moved by that shit, not knowing that I'm a natural hair kind of nigga. You know what I'm saying? Our kind of brother, excuse me. So I get off the phone with my shorty. Moments later, she texts me a picture of a ballet class and the prices for it. It was like $40 to get in, and then like $15 a week or some shit like that. And I was like, what's this? She was like, these are dance classes. I want, I want such and such to go to dance class. I'm like, I don't mind her going to dance class, but you got about $300, $400, $500 on top of your motherfucking head. That's your dance class money right there. You feel me? Shit, that's dance class money for my daughter, and fucking karate classes for your son. The fuck you talking about? You got like damn near 3 weeks worth of groceries on your motherfucking head. The fuck you talking about? No. Because I'm not finna sit up here and pay $500 fucking a month in child support, and then have you nickel and dime me and shit for little knickknacks here and zooms there, and then a month go by and I end up paying $600 to $700 a month. You know what I'm saying? It's like if we can't come, it's one thing with an embargo, as I see it. It's one thing for me to pay for things willingly. It's another thing for you to try to take and try to hustle and try to finesse me and try to get over on me. That's a whole different thing. You know, as I spoke about and I speak about in these chat rooms all the time, the baby mama industrial complex. I don't feel sorry for these baby mamas out here. These bitches are doing this shit on purpose. They're doing this. They're not victims. They are actively doing this, man. They got older Gen X bitches coaching them along on how to do this shit, man. Straight up. They got bitches in their ear talking about, yeah, girl, you do this, you can get away with this, and you know, talk to the go down to 57th Street and go to this daycare, talk to them, and they'll give you some documents of a souped up daycare price that you can take down there, and he'll be paying $700-800 a month in child support for one child. Like these bitches got, they have refined this shit. They have refined this shit. This is an industrial complex. That's why I call it an industrial complex. From the babies to the bitches to the non-profit organizations to the fucking the what do you call it? The court appointed attorneys to the judges. All that shit, man. To the fucking, what they call them, stenographers. What's the bitch that's typing in the goddamn courtroom? To that bitch, too. All the motherfuckers, man. Everybody waxing fat. You know? Off the black man back. So, anyway, I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent, but shit, I'm telling you. So yeah, you know, so I implemented an embargo. You know, it's like, okay, you don't want to play by the rules. I'm gonna deny you certain things, and yeah, you're gonna. I hope that you got the resources on your country, on your island, or you got enough allies that can fill in the gaps. If not, then, you know, you're going to have to eat what you kill and get out there and earn your snaps on your own, you feel me? But anyway, moving on. Number 2, reconnaissance. Military observation of a region to locate an enemy or ascertain strategic features. Now, fellas, bitches do it, so we should do it too. What am I talking about? Lurking. Do not be above lurking. Make fake profiles on Facebook, Instagram, all that shit, and lurk. Get as much information as you can. Get on her page. Capture pictures, screenshot fucking post, go on all her friends' pages, any posts or any pictures that they make that you may, assume are in any way tied to you, snatch that shit, get it. Go get on her mama page, her relatives page. If she got another nigga or a new nigga or another baby daddy or something, get on that nigga shit. Go through his shit, get on his folks shit. Get as much information as possible. You want names, pictures of as many players as possible. Straight up. And at the same token, you want to button your shit up. You want to button your social media up. And really watch how you move and what you say on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So, if you got a baby mama, right? what you can do is if you're friends with her on Facebook, what you can do is, you know how you can set certain posts, like you can set certain friends in your friends list and put them in certain categories, and then when you make posts, you can make the privacy setting to where certain friends in your friends list will be able to see it, but other friends in your friends list won't be able to see it. You know what I'm saying? So do that. And then at the same time, you can put out disinformation. You know what I mean? To really fuck with the psyche of other players, because rest assured, because it's not just her that you got to deal with, or that you have to be cognizant of, that you have to get reconnaissance on. Especially if she's a really petty bitch, like my baby mama is or was. You know, she fucked up. I kicked her to the curb, so, you know, she kind of made a smooth transition to another nigga. But this new nigga, even though I'm not really funking with this nigga like that, she's feeding him information, and him being a dullard, he's kind of believing the hype and letting this bitch gas his head up. So, you know, when me and him do cross paths, he's coming off a little bit more aggressive than he should. So he's a willful idiot. Even though he's an idiot, he can pose a threat. So I got to get as much information on him as possible. You know, like I told you, and like I told you guys, at my daughter's first birthday party, right? She brought this nigga along, and this nigga in turn brought I think it was either his brother or his cousin. It was one of his relatives. So they get it. This at Chuck E. Cheese, right? So they get a table not too far away from where we're at. I'm there with my mother. My 60 at the time, my mother was what? 63, 64 years old. My fucking damn near senior citizen mother and my 63, 64-year-old father. May he rest in peace. I'm on some family shit. I walk past their table. The nigga that old boy brought is saying on some sideways shit. So, hey, is this nigga gonna be a problem? And then old boy is like, nah, chill. Now, mind you, bruh, I'm 6 feet, 200. At the time, I was like 215 pounds. You know, I avidly work out, hit these motherfucking weights. At the time, the place I was staying at had a heavy bag. Nigga, I'm for the bullshit. This nigga is like 5'9", 230 pounds, fat, sloppy, old, overweight. And the nigga that he brought is like 5'7". I'm like, bruh, if we were locked in the same cell at county or something like that, nigga, I would yoke you up, choke you to sleep, pound on your motherfucking eyeball until I broke your eye bone and made you go blind in one eye, and then took your whole grill from you. Like, don't come to my daughter's first birthday party on some funk type of shit, cause I will. Anyway, I seen that this guy, even though he wasn't so smart because he's believing some bitch, he does pose a threat. So I got as much information on him, the little nigga that he brought with him, and all players as possible. So reconnaissance is very important. And the control of the information that you disseminate as well. Number 3, set boundaries. A line that marks the limit of an area, a dividing line. You need to make this clear. You need to make this clear to her and everybody on her side. You need to draw a definitive line in the sand and say, do not cross it. Just because you're the mother of my child does not give you carte blanche to just come up in my house, flip over motherfucking tables and shit, and lead me about by the nose and be all in my business. You know, that's pretty self-explanatory. Number 4, defend your borders. To defend, resist an attack made on, compete to retain. Now this right here, fellas, you might have to break a couple eggs to make an omelet. I'll be willing to do so. You need to set those boundaries, and you need to defend those boundaries, and you need to be willing to defend those boundaries with extreme prejudice, if you get my drift. I'll give you an example. I set my embargo, right? Now, I have boundaries in my life for everybody on her side, and they're not to cross these boundaries. One time, she had a relative of hers, gentleman, cousin of hers, who lived in the same part of town that I lived in. She lived in the inner city. I live in the suburbs. She had an older cousin. I guess he worked his way up out of the city, moved to the same suburbs, like right around the corner from me, right? So instead of me meeting her at my drop spot to drop my daughter off, she said, can you take Shorty by my cousin's house? So I go over there, drop my Shorty off. I'm expecting just to, be at the door. Here she is, going about my business. The wife of her cousin was like, well, why don't you come on in? Come on in. So I come in, I oblige. They're, Gen X. At the time I was like early 30s, 31, 32. They're Gen Xers and shit, church going, deacon type of folk. They really ain't with the shit like that. So I'm really not threatened by them. So I'm like, all right, I'll come in and entertain, whatever. So I go in, I'm speaking with her cousin's wife, and she's cool, yada, 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 no problem. But then this fella, he starts asking me, well, where do you work at? Trying to be, how you say, trying to be like Marcus and Mike Lowry off of Bad Boys 2, kind of, trying to press me like that. Now, mind you, I'm not no 15-year-old kid coming to your house to take your daughter out on a date. I'm a grown-ass motherfucking man. You know what I'm saying? I have many years of experience and many hours of extensive training in various, disciplines. Nigga, you're in no position to be questioning me about what the fuck I do. If anything, you need to be questioning your cousin. So I was incensed. Now I'm in this man's house, so I don't scream on him, but I let him know, brother, you encroaching upon a boundary that you really shouldn't be encroaching on. So I put, I asked, instead of answering the question, I asked him sternly, So I'm like, so where you work at? Oh, I'm a deacon down at the church and yada yada. I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. That's nice. And I just kind of patronized him a little. I kind of patronized him a little bit, and then dismissed his question entirely. Like, nigga, you ain't in no authority to even ask me a question like that. You know what I'm saying? That's my fucking personal business. You know? If I was to just quit my job and drop out of school at the time and just impoverish myself, that's my motherfucking business. It's none of your business what the fuck I do. You know? So you gotta set hard boundaries like that. Cause some of her relatives and shit, in particular, the women, the women will try and test you if they smell weakness. But for the most part, if you kind of don't give them any type of rhythm, any type of vibe, they won't know how to play it. But the dudes, the niggas, yeah, they'll try you. They'll try you, and you gotta let them know, nigga, I'm not to be tried. You don't want to be taking the Lakewood research or Truman and be put in the ER for triage. You know what I mean? Because you felt the need to try to be some hired muscle for your relative. It's not worth it. You know, so you gotta set them hard boundaries. You feel me? And you gotta be willing to defend that shit, man. You know? Because I had in my mind, because I already knew when I implemented this embargo, I knew that there was a possibility, a chance, that one of her relatives was gonna approach me on some rah-rah shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you seen the videos on social media where I guess the dude isn't doing what the chick wants him to do. So she sends some drone to come and check him, and then the drone comes and accost the gentleman like, man, you ain't doing for my sister, man. She got your baby and And then, you know, the drone proceeds to assault the brother. When I mindfully implemented this embargo, and I had in my mind, I walked around every day. I said, you know, when I implement this embargo, if and one of her cousins, brother, father, uncle, whom the fuck ever, and one of them niggas came to me and was like, hey, are you Benjamin? Yeah, who wants to know? Yeah, I'm such and such's cousin. Nigga, I'm upping whatever weapon I have on me. I'm from Missouri, so as long as you don't have a felony and you lawfully own a gun, you can conceal carry. You don't need a concealed carry permit in Missouri. So, you know what I mean? So, in the words of 50 Cent, if I ain't got my pistol on me, sure I got a knife, fam. I'm upping whatever fucking weapon I got. Gun, knife, whatever. And I'm going to, defend my borders with extreme prejudice. You dig? You know, what's that meme? It was a meme I seen recently on Facebook where it's like, it was a picture of a chick crying, and the caption goes, when she have her cousins jump you to send you a message, but you end up killing one of them. It's gonna be that, man. It's gonna be that. It's gonna be some straight up Kane off of Menace to Society. Except that nigga he ain't gonna get a chance to strike back. Now somebody else, another one of your relatives may come back because of what I did to him, but he's not coming back. He's not coming back. That's a one-way street, man. So when you implement certain things and you set certain boundaries, you got to be willing to defend them boundaries. Now, by all means, if you can avoid a firefight or contact and engagement with the tango, by all means avoid that. You know what I mean? But if it come down to the come down, hey, it is what it is. It's your word versus his. And we know the type of motherfuckers that don't talk. So, there you have it. Let me go to my next point. All right. Point number 6. Oh, excuse me, not point number 6, point number 5. Use negative reinforcement, which is take things away. Now, I know a lot of people get it misconstrued and they think negative reinforcement is being negative to someone to get them to act it in a certain way. My understanding of it is negative reinforcement is when you subtract something. You know what I mean? Like let's say you got a baby mama, right? Her car breaks down, she needs a car. Let's say you have a car, you have 2 cars, or you have enough disposable income, to buy an additional car. Put the car in your name and allow her to drive it. When she fucks up, you implement negative reinforcement and take it away. Now, I'm not saying be a tyrant, and don't be sociopathic and just for the sake of trying to make her squirm, take shit away. Like that's some childish type of shit. You know what I'm saying? You know. Really only implement negative reinforcement to get her back in pocket on serious infractions, on serious behavior flaws that need to be corrected. Don't do it on petty shit. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, 6th, last but not least, is positive reinforcement. Add things, whether they be pleasant or unpleasant. Now, let me kind of go back to the negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is you take away positive and negative things. If you can kind of wrap your mind around it. You know what I mean? Like taking away variables and certain different type of shit to affect the environment of the person whom you're trying to socially re-engineer. Okay. Positive reinforcement is you add things to how you say, whether they be pleasant or unpleasant, to socially re-engineer whom you're trying to re-engineer. I mean, so I don't know about adding unpleasant shit. That's really not my focus. But like I said earlier, I wanted to touch on the embargo piece. The embargo isn't how you say, it isn't permanent. You know what I mean? It all hinges on her actions and her behavior. Because like I said, before my daughter was even born, her behavior she was completely out of pocket. When my daughter got here, bruh, we're in court, outside of the courtroom, waiting for our case to be heard. At the time, she's like 4 months pregnant with another nigga's baby whom she was cheating on me with. I look over at her and she got the motherfucking nerve to twist her goddamn face up at me and look at me like and give me the screw face. I mean, this bitch she had went around the bend. This bitch had went around the bend. Seriously. She was completely out of pocket. But stepping back, assessing the board, moving certain pieces on the board, her behavior changed, you know? So now she's extremely pleasant and extremely accommodating to me. So much so that, you know, I know she's trying to woo me back. But you guys know how I feel about that. But I'm so pleased by her behavior that I'm implementing positive reinforcement. I want to positively reward her behavior and her conduct towards me. Now, she bought a house in the inner city. The house, you know, she bought it for the cheap. The house needs a lot of work. You know, it's very drafty. Her gas bill is high. Her gas bill is regularly high. You know, she's having a whole bunch of problems. The house is more of it's more trouble than it's worth. And it is making it kind of, making it kind of difficult on my daughter. So, since you know, for my daughter's sake, and on top of the fact that I'm very much so pleased by her behavior, and I don't mean, you know, she's not doing anything sexual with me, because I'm not having sex with her. I haven't in over 4 years now. But since I'm so pleased with her behavior, I'm going to put her up in a 3-bedroom townhome in the suburbs. You know, now, and I'm gonna pay the and I've already spoke to her about it. Putting the shit in place, where I'm gonna pay the rent. You know, the rent is it's in a luxury suburb. You know, it's a luxury townhome in an affluent suburb. So you can imagine that price relative to whatever city you're living in. But anyway, now I said I'm gonna pay the rent, but you know, she's working and shit, but she has to pay the utilities. She said she was cool with that, right? But I said, here's the thing. You can't have no nigga up in there. Don't bring no scraggly, raggedy, dusty ass nigga around my baby. Now, if you get a man, he wants to be your man, and he wants to live with you, or if you want to move in with him, or if he wants to move in with you, then You and him have to handle that, how you say, that rent. That's y'all shit now. You know what I'm saying? Or that's his shit. You know? I'm not finna house no grown ass man. That I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna house no grown ass man. You know, my baby, her mother, and yeah, even her son that she had with baby daddy number 2, whom she was cheating on me with. Now I know motherfuckers might see that as some simp shit. Like, man, Benjamin, you putting that bitch up in a luxury 3-bedroom townhome in the suburbs, and you gonna be paying the rent, and she got some and you gonna allow her son that she had with the nigga whom she cucked you with. who she cheated on you with, son up in there too, man. That's some cuck shit. Bruh, look. The little niggas here. You know what I'm saying? I don't engage that motherfucker. This goes back to the boundaries that I set. Not only did I set boundaries for her side, but I set boundaries for myself. Those boundaries were, I'm not going to engage her son in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm not going to say 2 words to this little nigga. None. Because his daddy is an ignorant ass nigga, and members of his family are ignorant ass niggas. And I would hate for this little dude to say, yeah, you know, my sister's daddy said this to me, and then he get on some shit and want to come see about me, then I'm on the 6 o'clock news because, you know, my mugshot's on the 6 o'clock news. I would hate for that to happen, you know. So I set boundaries for myself. So go, you know, just to retract and go back. Boundaries, not, you know, you set boundaries not only for the other side, but you set boundaries for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm being cucked in the sense that I'm taking care of this nigga and I'm raising this little nigga. No, it's not. He's my daughter's younger brother. So by proxy, he's gonna get some crumbs that fall off the table that I set for my daughter, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it like this. I only got one child. This bitch got me on the hook for child support for like $500 a month. You feel me? This nigga got like 5 kids already, plus that one. He's got like 6 or 7 kids by like 3 or 4 different women. Like, this nigga's pie is divvied up in a lot of ways. So I'm already knowing that, yeah, she getting $500 a month from me in child support from me, but nigga, she probably only getting like $75 a month of child support from him. You know what I'm saying? Because his pie is split up certain, you know, so many different ways. So what, is she gonna spend the entire $500 a month on my daughter and not spend any of that money on him? Or he's not, by proxy, gonna reap the benefits of my child support check? Even if she was to take my entire child support check and go out and buy groceries for the entire month, that nigga gonna be eating the same fucking fruit snacks that my daughter eating. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be getting the same Go-Gurts and Jell-O cups and shit and fucking Nutellas and all that other good shit that my daughter eating. He's gonna get some crumbs that fall off the table that I set for my daughter. You know what I mean? So it's like, but this sets the table by me doing this, by me implementing a positive reinforcement. This sets the table for me to implement negative reinforcement. And by turn, this allows me to further extend my boundaries. And this gives me carte blanche to defend said boundaries. You see what I mean? By implementing this positive reinforcement of this act that I'm doing, this allows me to go from 6 all the way back down to 1. Because it's as the old adage says, he who pays the cost, or he who has the gold has the power. You want to be the boss, you got to pay the cost. You know what I mean? So, luckily for her, I'm not a tyrant. So, I'm not gonna be petty, because I love my daughter, and I'm a businessman. I don't have time to be petty. So I'm about efficiency. But yeah, man. Yeah. We not now on that stream that Concrete Rose and Sister George put out there. There was some brothers on there. I think it was Roger Report brother. He was kind of saying, how men's hands were tied, and saying the things that we couldn't do, and how the women are so much in power and whatnot. And I'm just like, nah. If we took more of a strategic and pragmatic approach to dealing with these out-of-pocket bitches, then we very much so could, make them sue for peace. You know what I'm saying? They're not that powerful, man. They're not that strong. We just got to be willing to be disciplined, to stand firm in our convictions of certain strategies that we implement. And that's going to take a level of ruthlessness, like I've spoken about. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, man. A king got to make hard decisions. You feel me? A king got to make hard decisions. You think it was easy for me to sit up here and for the most part try to keep my composure and channel my frustrations in more of a controlled direction when she was in the middle of all of her fuckery, fucking me over, by keeping my daughter away from me and lying and doing all this other? Of course. It took every fiber of my being not to, dress in all black, if you get what I'm saying. Because I'm not one of these Tyrese type of niggas. I'm not gonna make a video and post it on the internet talking about, what more do you want from me? I'm not that type of motherfucker, man. I'm not that type of guy. I will get your attention in other ways. Ways that are not so pleasant. You catch my drift. When certain things start happening, if you want to inflict pain and, let me stop. But, cooler heads prevail. I had to endure that. That was a heavy load, man, and I lifted that. And man, if we wanna call the shots, man, we gotta pay the cost, man. If we wanna call the tune, man, we gotta pay the piper, man. We gotta pay that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Being cold-hearted, being ruthless doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be Ike Turner. You gotta beat a bitch up, type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Or you gotta lie to her and deceive her and shit. Sometimes it being ruthless and being cold-hearted is just setting boundaries, staying disciplined enough to stick to your guns and saying, no, I ain't going. And being strong enough to weather that weight that come down on you when you do dig your heels in and say, no, I ain't going. I ain't going. And I think that I wouldn't necessarily call it being ruthless. I would more so like to call it being a man of your conviction. If you have convictions and you stick to that shit, man, these bitches will switch up, man. They will switch up and revere you. Now, it's some bullshit that we have to be a goddamn lion tamer and go through all this go through all this trouble just to bring these bitches to heel for them to get a modicum of respect. It's a goddamn shame we gotta do this, man. But for you brothers, if don't waste your time and your energy. If you ain't got no permanent ties to a bitch that's out of pocket, cut your losses, keep it moving. You know what I mean? If you ain't got no children with this chick and you're not married to her and she's out of pocket, just use her for sex. And when the topic is broached on where is this going, then you can be forthright. Don't lie. Just tell her the truth on why this isn't going to the next level. And if she wants to go on about her business, let her go. But this video is specifically for the brothers who are already at war. You already in the shit. Let me see, is there anything else? Oh yeah. You might want to know, you might have noticed as of late, there's there's a royal theme to my my videos and shit. I'm using a lot of pictures of royalty, namely the Black Panther and shit, as my thumbnail. I'm leading to something. I'm leading to a video. I'm preparing for it. I got inspiration to make this video because of the podcast that Obsidian did about Derek Jackson, about his book, Straighten Up Your Crown or something. Trying to instill a sense of regalness in these basic ass bitches. So me being a history buff, and a strategist in my own right. You know, I've studied war and strategy and whatnot. A lot of these, I'm not gonna get into that. I'll save that for another video. But yeah, I'm leading to that. So but yeah, man. Don't forget, man. If you check out my videos, man, read the Bible, bruh. Read the Bible, cover to cover. Read the 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene and the 48 Laws of Power, man. Those are must reads, brothers. Must reads. Yeah, that's all I got, man.